You don't wake up one morning and suddenly think, ah, yes, today I will start losing my near vision. That's not how it happens. Presbyopia is not dramatic. It doesn't shock you. It doesn't scare you immediately. It doesn't even feel like a problem at first. It feels like inconvenience. Small things, tiny adjustments, things you laugh about, things you blame on stress, or sleep, or lighting, or your phone. It usually starts somewhere after your late 30s or early 40s. But looking back, most people realize the signs were there earlier. You're reading a message and you pull your phone slightly farther away, just a bit. You don't think much of it. Maybe the font is small. Maybe your eyes are tired. You stretch your arm. It helps. So you move on with your life. A few weeks later, you notice you're doing it again, and again, and again. Suddenly, your arm is fully extended like you're trying to take a selfie just to read a text. Someone jokes about it. You're getting old, oh. You laugh. You even joke back. Because honestly, it's funny. It doesn't hurt. You can still see, so what's the big deal? That's how presbyopia enters people's lives. Quietly, casually, almost politely. Caro noticed it while trying to thread a needle, something she had done all her life without thinking. She sat under better light, then brighter light. Then she squinted. Then she gave up and asked her daughter for help. She laughed it off, but later that night, when she tried to read a message on her phone, she realized she was holding it farther away than usual. She didn't panic. She didn't Google anything. She just adjusted. Israel noticed it at work. Numbers on his laptop looked fine. Emails were okay. But when he picked up a printed document, something felt off. The words weren't blurry exactly, just uncomfortable. Like his eyes were working harder than they used to. He leaned back in his chair. The words looked clearer. He leaned forward again. Worse. He leaned back. Better. He didn't think vision problem. He thought long day. Donald noticed it while reading the Bible, the same Bible he had used for years. Same font, same lighting. But now, reading for long periods gave him headaches. He found himself stopping more often, rubbing his eyes, blaming stress, blaming age, blaming everything except what was actually happening. Presbyopia doesn't feel like loss. It feels like effort. It feels like your eyes are tired faster than they used to be. It feels like light isn't enough anymore. It feels like your arms are suddenly too short, and that's the trick. Because when something doesn't hurt, when it doesn't feel dangerous, when it doesn't stop you immediately, humans ignore it. We adapt instead of investigating. We increase brightness. We zoom in, we stretch our arms, we change positions, we squint, we laugh. Presbyopia is not a disease. It's a natural age-related change. And that's exactly why people underestimate it. Everyone expects gray hair. Everyone expects wrinkles. But nobody expects their eyes to quietly change how they focus. Inside your eyes is a lens. When you're young, that lens is flexible. It changes shape, easily, helping you focus on things near and far. As you get older, that lens gradually becomes less flexible. It doesn't bend as easily anymore. Near objects become harder to focus on. That's presbyopia. But knowing the science doesn't change how sneaky it is, because presbyopia doesn't announce itself. It waits for you to be busy. It waits until you have responsibilities, until you have work, children, deadlines. It waits until you don't have time to pay attention to small changes. That's why people don't say, I have presbyopia. They say things like, I can see, but I just need more light. My eyes get tired easily. This phone font is too small. I think I need a new phone. I think my screen is the problem. People change devices before they check their eyes. Nighttime makes it more obvious. Restaurants, dim rooms, low light. Menus become harder to read. People lift menus closer to lights. They use phone flashlights, they laugh it off. But inside, something shifts. A quiet realization that things aren't as effortless as they used to be. And then there's the headache, the dull one, the one that starts after reading for a while. The one that sits behind your eyes, The one you treat with rest or painkillers without asking why it keeps coming back. Presbyopia doesn't take your vision suddenly. It takes your comfort. It takes ease. It takes confidence. It makes simple things feel stressful without you knowing why. Some people start avoiding reading. Not consciously. They just don't pick up books anymore. They don't read messages immediately. They postpone paperwork. They hand phones to other people. Help me check something small. Small things slowly change behavior. And the thing is, presbyopia happens to everyone who lives long enough. Everyone, no exceptions. It's not caused by phones. It's not caused by screens. Screens can make symptoms more noticeable, but they didn't create the problem. This would happen even if smartphones didn't exist. What makes presbyopia dangerous is not blindness. It's neglect. Because many people ignore it for years. They strain their eyes. They live with constant discomfort. They get headaches. They lose interest in reading. So they assume it's normal suffering. And suffering becomes normal when everyone around you is doing the same thing. People joke about old eyes. They normalize struggle instead of addressing it. But vision is not something to endure. It's something to protect. Some people finally act when frustration builds, when they're tired of squinting, when headaches become frequent, when they feel embarrassed asking others for help, when reading becomes work instead of pleasure. That's when they sit in an eye clinic, surprised that the solution is simple. Glasses, reading glasses. Sometimes progressive lenses. Sometimes bifocals. Simple tools that restore comfort instantly. People often say, "So this is how it's supposed to look." That moment matters because it reminds you that struggling was never required. You were adapting when you didn't have to. Presbyopia doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means your eyes are aging like the rest of your body. And just like you don't walk barefoot on rough roads because it's natural, you don't need to strain your eyes because it's age. Clear vision is not a luxury. Comfort is not indulgence. Prevention is not fear. Eye exams don't hurt. They don't take long, and they don't mean something terrible will be found. Most times they mean relief. The problem is not presbyopia. The problem is waiting. Waiting because it doesn't feel urgent. Waiting because life is busy. Waiting because you can still manage. But managing is not thriving. Your eyes carry your work, your memories, your connections, your independence. They help you read messages from people you love. They help you work. They help you navigate the world. And when something starts to change, even quietly, it deserves attention. Presbyopia is common, normal, expected, but ignoring discomfort shouldn't be. So, if you find yourself stretching your arms to read, if you need brighter light than before, if reading gives you headaches, if your eyes feel tired faster than they used to, if something feels off but you can't explain it, that's not imagination. That's not a weakness. That's not just stress. That's your eyes asking for support. And the beautiful thing is, support is simple. You don't have to wait until frustration turns into resentment. You don't have to wait until reading feels like punishment. You don't have to wait until headaches become routine. Notice the small changes. Respect them. Act on them. Presbyopia is quiet, but clarity is louder when you allow it back into your life. This isn't about fear. It's about ease, comfort, quality of life. Your eyes have carried you this far. Taking care of them is not optional. It's appreciation. And the earlier you respond, the lighter the journey feels. See, well,